All right, let's just jump right in. For decades, the way we find information online has been, well, pretty much the same. But all of that is changing, and it is changing fast. Today, we're going to talk about this massive shift from just searching the internet to actually having a conversation with it. And we're going to explore what that really means, not just for the tech, but for the way we actually think.
I mean, really think back. You had a question, you'd pop a few words into a search box, hit enter, and bam, a page of 10 blue links. And then your job started. You had to click, read, hit the back button, click another link, and try to piece together the answer yourself. It was this little digital scavenger hunt that honestly, we all got really good at.
And I'm not being dramatic here. The fundamental way we interact with the ocean of digital information is going through its biggest shakeup in a generation. The age of the linked list is giving way to something completely different. So, to really understand where we're headed, we have to appreciate where we've been. For the longest time, the entire internet was ruled by one thing: the keyword. It was a simple but really powerful idea that somehow managed to scale as the web just exploded in size.
This model was unbelievably efficient. It took a totally chaotic web and it gave us a map. But here's the catch. The map only pointed you to different aisles in the library. You still had to go find the right book, pull it off the shelf, and then find the right page. The heavy lifting of connecting all the dots, that was all on you.
And this is right where the cracks in the system really started to show. The web just became unimaginably huge. Trying to sift through dozens of links to answer a complex question, it became a serious chore. We kind of stopped wanting a map and started wishing we just had a guide, someone who could just tell us the answer. And that's exactly where large language models, LLMs, enter the picture. This isn't just a slightly better search engine we're talking about. No, this is a completely different philosophy, a whole new approach that moves us from just typing in keywords to having actual conversations. Okay, this slide right here, this is the whole ballgame. On the left, you have the old way. A traditional search engine sees your query as a signal. It's basically just playing a matching game with keywords. But in LLM, it tries to understand meaning. It's not just matching words, it's interpreting what you actually want. And just look at the output. Search gives you references, links. An LLM gives you a synthesized answer. That last, really hard step of putting it all together, that shifts from you to the machine. This quote just nails the feeling of it. It's not a one-and-done transaction anymore. It is a dialogue. You can ask follow-up questions. You can say, hey, explain that from a different perspective, or tell me more about that one specific point. It's interactive and it adapts to you in a way that keyword search just never ever could. But, like any powerful new technology, this whole shift is not just sunshine and roses. We have to look at both sides of the coin here, the incredible, mind-blowing promise and the very real peril that comes along with it.
I mean, on the promise side, it is pretty amazing. These models can actually get the nuance in how we talk. You can ask them questions that would totally break a keyword search. They can pull together ideas from countless different sources and weave them into one coherent answer for you. And through that whole dialogue we talked about, the results get more and more personalized to what you really mean.
But then there's the other side. LLMs can hallucinate. That means they can just confidently make things up that sound totally true, but are completely false. And because they're trained on a snapshot of data from the past, their knowledge can be pretty outdated. Plus, they can absorb and even amplify the biases that are already present in all the human text they learn from. It's so important to understand why this hallucination thing happens. An LLM is not a giant database of facts. It's a prediction engine. It is just making a statistical guess about which word is most likely to come next to form a good-sounding sentence. It's not an oracle of truth. It's a master of plausibility. And that is a really dangerous distinction if we're not paying attention. So all these things, the promise and the peril, they aren't just little technical quirks. They point to something so much bigger, a fundamental change in how we process information and maybe even in how we think. And this, right here, might be the most important point of our whole discussion. The biggest shift isn't happening in the silicon, it's happening in our own heads. For the very first time, we are, on a massive scale, offloading the difficult mental work of synthesis, of connecting ideas to form a conclusion, to a machine. Think about it. We used to be the chefs in the kitchen, finding ingredients and putting the meal together. Now, we're just ordering takeout.
So, the stakes here could not be higher. On one hand, you have this massive opportunity, getting insights way faster, making knowledge available to everyone.
Anyone can get a super complex topic broken down in seconds. But the risk on the other side is just as huge: the slow erosion of our critical thinking skills. If we don't have to connect the dots anymore, will we forget how? Are we in danger of outsourcing the very act of reasoning itself?
It helps to think about this as a whole system. LLMs aren't just another website or another app. They are a powerful new node in our global information ecosystem. And they're going to create these wild feedback loops that will change how content is made, how we value it, and what we trust online. They're going to reshape everything.
Which, of course, leaves us with this one final, really critical question. The line between a tool that helps us think better and a tool that does our thinking for us, that line is incredibly fine. And as we start weaving these models into every single part of our lives, this is the dilemma we all have to confront. Are we augmenting human intelligence, or are we replacing it? Definitely something to think about.